Hey guys, I can sit here all day and tell you about how strong the market is, how tough it is to be a buyer. That's boring. Today, I was in two multiple offer situations where I was actually representing the buyers. When you go into these multiple offer situations, the question always is, what is this home worth? At what point does this get out of hand or just too expensive? And the second part is, how do you actually succeed, right? What if money is not an issue? What if you're willing to pay whatever it takes? And I rarely run into that second buyer profile. And one thing I tell all my clients going into these situations or when we are looking at comps and having these conversations is that more people are like you. Buyers in this situation, they don't want to pay too much. They are nervous about just being in this situation in the first place, and they're measured. It can be scary and overwhelming, and when there are 10, 11 offers on something, you just don't want to be in a bidding war or get caught up in the excitement. More often than not, the buyers that I work with and the buyers that I see are having the same concerns and insecurity that you're having. Is this the right decision? Is this the right price? Am I paying too much? Am I taking too much risk? Am I exposing myself too much? Am I going to miss out on a future home that might be better? Or they might be thinking, am I ever going to see something that's good again? When that part of the conversation comes up, I always say, look, if this one doesn't work out, you will find a home. You will love it. You will be completely satisfied. And this home that we're making an offer on today will just be a memory and not meant to be. And that usually sets the tone for the second part of the conversation with regards to strategy. The goal is not just to be the winner. That's great. They just sign our contract and send it back, but it rarely happens that way. I represent a lot of sellers and I'm on the other end of these multiple offer situations constantly. And it's shocking how often the majority of the offers that I get in my inbox by Tuesday at 12 o'clock, whatever the deadline might be, are from agents whom I've never spoken to. There's been zero dialogue. They submit a good offer. It's super clean. And in any other market, we'd be thrilled to have it. But in this market, even if it's good enough or sometimes one of the better offers, if I have a line of communication open with a responsive agent, with someone who I've been talking to since day one of the listing, we just like each other, right? That agent, if they're in the mix, if their offer is competitive, more often than not, I'm not being unfair. So I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm rewarding their diligence. So when they ask for a little bit more information, sometimes I'll give it to them if I think it's in my client's best interest. And more importantly, if they are in the mix, if it's really close, if it's plus or minus a couple of $1,000, plus or minus a term or contingency. If you're an agent making an offer on one of my listings, it's usually advantageous that we know each other or that we have an open dialogue. It's hugely beneficial. Obviously, if I'm on the buying side, that's what I'm trying to do. Send text, give them a call. Maybe there's a personal connection. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's a funny story I can tell just to kind of get into the back of their head and just have that line of communication open. Because in my experience, they're more willing to give you information that might be helpful in terms of being successful for these particular sellers or this particular situation. Information in these situations is power. The more information you have, the more data you're able to collect about the seller situation, their LinkedIn profile, what they do on Facebook, whatever, the better it is. And that is a huge part of being successful in these multiple offer situations. We want to be in the mix at the end. When you make an offer, and let's say you submit something with limited contingencies or no contingencies, or with an escalation clause. I'm not a huge fan of escalation clause. I use them often on both sides. I get it. It's a great tool if used correctly. But sometimes you just get two random buyers at the very high end just bidding each other up way more than might be necessary. And if you're on the buy side, you don't necessarily want to be in that position. If you do end up using an escalation clause, you got to remember your offer is only plus or minus a couple $1,000 better than the next offer or worse than the best offer. So it usually does not come down to the price in those situations. It usually comes down to terms, almost always. We want to at least know about it and have an opportunity to make a change at the end before the seller makes a final decision. That is the goal in these multiple offer situations. When we've gathered all the information we can from the seller and we put together the best offer that we can put together, hopefully we're in the mix so that, hey, Khalil, this offer offered a free rent back. If you guys do that, despite being lower, despite having an inspection contingency, whatever it might be, the house is yours. There's a lot of psychology in these multiple offer situations. Our job as agents sometimes is to help just get you through what will likely be a situation you'll find yourself in more than once. Part of working with a good agent is they can actually help manage your emotional sort of state of mind, staying rational, not getting, super attached to a home and not setting unrealistic expectations. I always tell my clients, having a house is like having a baby. Because it's yours, it's the best. That's how folks feel about their homes. It's your home, it's the best home, despite all the other imperfections. Just like it's your kid, he's the best kid. If you're watching this video and you're trying to figure out how to be strategic in these multiple offer situations and you're not successful, just know you'll end up where you need to end up. A couple more tips: write clean contracts. Make sure that they're free of errors. People say the personal letters don't work. That's bullshit. The personal letters work. I've seen it work time and time again. I always ask my clients to include a call to action where we invite the seller to give us a call or contact us should we not be the initial successful offer. And more than once, I've heard back from an agent, your letter said call you if you weren't the best offer. I didn't want to call you, but they wanted me to call you. So thank you for the letter. Thank you for the offer. You got to come up or you got to do this. And they want to work with you guys. And it's happened to me several times. So letters do work. Not always, but they work. I also had a conversation about value and price. On one of the properties, the dad was with us at the showing. And he was like, what do you think of the price, Khalil? I go, well, if you would have asked me 6 months ago if this was realistic, I would have said you're nuts. But today, I think they're going to get this price plus a lot more. The daughter piped in and said, hey, Dad, the home is only worth what someone's willing to pay. And I looked at him, I said, hey, I didn't say it. She said it. It's cliche, but it's absolutely true. The home is only worth what someone's willing to pay. You just don't want to have to pay any more than you need to get the home. Hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions or if you find yourself in a situation and need help, feel free to reach out. Give me a call. Thanks.